If you've been a longtime viewer of my channel, you know that I've done other minimal jewelry videos. This one's a little bit different because since then I've minimized quite a lot. You are looking at the only jewelry that I own. So this is my engagement ring that my husband gave me in 2018, April 1st, which was Easter that year. And then this ring I got on May 19th, same year. So we had a very quick engagement, actually a very quick courtship dating too. I have a few reasons for why I don't own other jewelry, which I'm going to get into. So I got my ears pierced 3 times. Once as an infant, someone who had never pierced ears before pierced my ears and they got infected. Then I got them re-pierced when I was in 3rd grade and they became infected. One fell out during the night. My mom had to push it back through. I was screaming. It was not a good time. I let them close. And then like a year or 2 later, I got them re-pierced. So on this ear, actually, I have what looks like 2 earring holes and there's only 1 hole there, which makes it very hard to find where it's supposed to go through. And this ear is actually really easy to get earrings into. However, my ears are allergic to gold, sterling silver, and cheap earrings too. The only kind of earrings that I can keep in my ears are surgical steel. You can get surgical steel earrings for very cheap. However, I used to leave the same pair of earrings in my ears for a long time. And actually when I went to get married, I changed them out for a different pair of earrings to wear short term. And the backs were just filthy. I'd never thought to wash them. I don't know why. Super gross. But since then, I really haven't worn any earrings. I also never really wore necklaces. I do like really simplistic, delicate necklaces. However, the last one that I owned unfortunately broke. And I used to have some teaching necklaces that I would wear whenever I went to work. Now, this was back when I was in college and student teaching. That was kind of like the job at the time. I didn't get paid for it, but I had to be a student teacher. But now that I am a teacher, I have a lanyard that has my badge on it, and that's sort of a replacement for the necklaces. And now that I've minimized, it feels really silly to keep necklaces that are just for work. When I was a teenager, I discovered that Kohl's has sterling silver rings that you can get for like 12 to 20 bucks, and some of them are just absolutely beautiful. At first, I think it started as I just really liked the rings, and then after a while I kind of realized these look a lot like engagement rings and they're really beautiful, and it makes me feel kind of wanted, as weird as that sounds. Unfortunately, I think I had this attachment to the rings as a replacement or waiting period to have a real engagement ring. If you are a Christian, you may know that growing up in a church or being at a church or just even being a Christian, you feel so aware of whether you're single or married. It can be very hard to be a single woman because sometimes the church makes it out to be that being single is bad, or you know, the right one's coming along, or you're definitely getting married, all of which may or may not be true. And of course, we always have that desire to feel wanted. And this is kind of a different video, but just as a Christian, knowing God loves you and you have a purpose in your life, and that purpose is not determined by whether or not you're single or married, is sometimes really hard to feel. I would never tell someone who is a single woman now as a married woman that I understand where you're at and I totally understand your pain, because even though I went through that, it feels a lot different when you hear that from someone who's married. So I definitely had an unhealthy attachment to those rings. And it took me a long time to figure that out. It was actually when I was in college and I was student teaching that I decided, in line with minimalism and in line with my faith and trusting God, that I was going to get rid of all of those rings. And I replaced it with a different ring. Let me go find it. All right, here it is. So this is kind of like a quick, we made little wedding box that we have. And up here, right here is a sterling silver ring band. And you'll actually notice that the gem is missing. I think God really blessed me in my understanding of who I am and just that unhealthy attachment to rings, because this holds a really special place in my heart. I was wearing this one day to student teaching, and All of a sudden I realized that the gem had fallen out. And this is a ring that represented to God not really a promise ring, but more of a I trust you, God. I do not need all of those rings, and you have a plan for me. I don't need to worry about it. This is my reminder of faith, that you are my God, you have a plan, and you are always good. The same day that my ring broke and the gem fell out, I told my now husband, who I was dating, how devastated I was. And he said that he was sorry, and he didn't really go on too much about it. And now I understand why, because little did I know that same day he purchased my engagement ring. The same day that this ring broke is the same day that my now husband purchased my engagement ring. What a crazy testimony that I never thought God would bring into my life. But I think it's just so powerful, and it's another reason why these are my only rings that I own, my only jewelry that I own right now. That's to say I'm not going to get any necklaces or bracelets, although I don't really like bracelets, or earrings, because I could, and I might, and probably will. Not to mention if I'm gifted jewelry, I will certainly wear and enjoy that too. But it just reminds me how powerful God is. And this video is actually supposed to be a minimalism video, but I think it also is kind of related to faith. And it is a strong reason and strong testimony to just why I've minimized and simplified my jewelry. I'm going to put a little disclaimer in here and say there is absolutely nothing wrong with wearing jewelry. I don't think you need to own a certain number of jewelry. I don't think there needs to be a certain type of jewelry you wear, who wears it, etc. This is just what I own and kind of the process to get to where I am right now. Let me know what your favorite piece of jewelry is in the comments down below, or maybe the most meaningful piece of jewelry for you and why it's the most meaningful. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more videos in the future, and I will see you next time. Bye guys. I don't want to seem like overly happy, like I'm bragging about having an engagement ring or being married, so this is kind of weird for me. Like, I don't think most people would think about that, but since I have been in a really dark place over singleness, I feel like that's really challenging. So I'm really sorry if the thumbnail in this actually really does upset someone.